Introduction. Why learning psychology for tests fails you in real life. Most people encounter psychology as a subject before they ever encounter it as a force. They sit in classrooms memorizing terms, theories, and names. They learn definitions well enough to answer questions correctly. They pass exams, earn credits, and move on believing they now understand psychology. And yet, when psychology shows up in their real lives, at work, in school systems, in courtrooms, in media, in technology, in mental health settings, they are unprepared to recognize what is happening to them or why. This is not an accident. It is a design choice. Traditional psychology education prioritizes memorization because memorization is easy to measure, easy to grade, and easy to standardize. Application, judgment, and awareness are not test reward recognition of language, not understanding of impact. They ask whether you can repeat what psychology says, not whether you can see how it is being used. As a result, students learn psychology as information rather than as an operating system. Meanwhile, psychological language is routinely used to justify decisions made about people rather than with them. Policies are defended as evidence-based, behaviors are labeled normal or abnormal, performance is evaluated, risk is assessed, compliance is encouraged, and punishment is rationalized, all under the authority of psychological expertise. These decisions carry real consequences. Yet most people are never taught how to examine the assumptions behind them. They are taught to trust the language instead. This book begins from a different premise. Psychology is not neutral, and it is not optional. Whether you study it or not, psychological principles are already shaping how you are evaluated, motivated, categorized, and controlled. You live inside psychological systems long before you choose to learn their names. Knowing psychology only well enough to pass a test does nothing to prepare you for that reality. This book does not teach psychology so you can answer questions the way an exam expects. It teaches psychology so you can recognize when it is shaping your choices, defining your identity, or being used to influence your behavior in the name of science, care, productivity, or safety. Here, theories matter only insofar as they explain real outcomes. Studies matter only insofar as they affect real lives. Historical context matters only because it reveals whose interests were served and whose were ignored. If a concept cannot be tied to lived experience, institutional power, or personal consequence, it does not belong here. The goal is not mastery of terminology. The goal is psychological literacy. Psychological literacy means knowing how behavioral systems operate, where their limits are, and how their authority is constructed. It means recognizing manipulation without rejecting knowledge and questioning claims without retreating into cynicism. It means understand enough to decide when psychology is helping, and when it is being used to manage, justify, or contain. This book assumes you are capable of judgment. It does not ask for obedience to experts or loyalty to schools of thought. It asks only that you pay attention to how explanations function in the real world. The chapters that follow do not begin with theory, they begin with recognition. They move from subtle influence to over-control, from everyday environments to institutional power, and finally to the classifications that determine how people are treated. By the end, you will not know psychology in the academic sense. You will know how to see it. And once you can see the system, you can no longer pretend it is not there. That is where the real work begins.